Do you want to know how to discipline a teenager who doesn't care about consequences? I'm Nicolene Peck, and I teach all over the world about parenting, good communication, how to build strong family bonds, child development, and education, all through the lens of the principle self-government. And in this video, we are talking about that teenager who seems like they don't care. In this video, we're going to talk about whether they really care or not, what that could mean to us, and what steps you can take as the parent to help your child take more of a personal responsibility and interest in their own development and learning. Well, we better talk about why it seems like they don't care. There are multiple reasons that could happen. Sometimes teens act like they don't care because that gives them the upper hand. Sometimes they feel like they don't have to take as much responsibility if they don't care. They might feel like a parent could get frustrated with them and give up on trying to get them to care or to lift a finger or to participate. And so we could just be dealing with old-fashioned manipulation. But there are some other things too. Sometimes there are some teens who have a lot of things going on. They've got extracurricular activities, lots of things with school and social life and church life and all the different things that are happening. And they just don't have the bandwidth to be able to do absolutely everything because they're at such a busy phase of life. And so they determine what's the most important, what's the least important. Well, some of the things like consequences or chores just get put to the bottom of the list. I mean, they're prioritizing their life, and that's where they're ending up, the bottom of the priority list. Of course, there are other reasons that teens might choose not to care. They might just really, truly not care if they've done anything wrong. They might be a rebel tendency child. And I do have videos here about the 4 types of tendencies and about rebel tendencies, so you may want to look into those if you're interested, if that might be your child that we're talking about. So teens are a little bit rebellious by nature, which means they can push back. They're trying to launch into adulthood. One of the main reasons that a teen is going to act like they don't care is so that you don't actually do the correction, so that you feel like it's not doing any good. And since you don't know what else to do, it just basically means they don't have to take responsibility. So what do you do if they act like they don't care and you're trying to do a correction? Well, the answer is actually fairly simple. You stay consistent and you do the correction anyway. But what you want to do is make sure you pre-teach ahead of time exactly how you will correct, exactly what consequences will happen. So in the TSG parenting course, which is on my website, teachingselfgovernment.com, I talk about how to pre-teach your children certain things. Like you're going to teach your teens the 4 basic skills, you're going to teach them the 5 teaching styles. You're going to teach them about meetings, problem solving, self-regulation, calmness. That's just a few of the things that we work on in the course. So once you have taught them a number of these things, especially things like accepting consequences and what you will do if they choose not to accept the consequence, which is something called intensive teaching, then if they choose not to accept their consequence, you just have to follow along with whatever you said that you would do. This is the power in pre-teaching. Whether they act like they care or not doesn't really matter. Now, if they're belligerent to you or they won't make eye contact or they're like, fine, I don't care, then you are going to want to move into something called the rule of 3. It's part of the intensive teaching process. It is a little bit more of an intricate skill, but it absolutely can be learned. You can learn it in the TSG parenting course. You also can learn it at the Parenting Mastery trainings. So I do those trainings a few times a year where we actually put you in groups and we teach you how to utilize all of the skills of self-government and how to implement them at your house. So you can look for that. In the process, you do 3 things 3 times: a pre-teach, an instruction, and then a feedback step or correction step. And then you do it again, and then you do it again. Only if needed. They can give you indicators that they don't need to go through the process after the first time if they're able to do all 5 steps of following an instruction. If you stick to your plan and you consistently follow through with it every time, they will succeed better, even if they act like they hate it. Now, there's something else that I want to add, and this might actually be one of the most important parts of what we're talking about. And that is that when teens are going through this last phase of development and they're getting ready to launch into adulthood, they're at a very intricate stage. They're at a stage where they're really transforming. They see themselves as becoming adults. They're thinking adult thoughts. They're feeling adult things. They know they're not the same as they used to be. Yet they still need a little bit of reforming sometimes because they are still learning and their prefrontal cortexes aren't actually fully developed yet. So there is a delicate balance between reforming and transforming for those teens during the teen years. And I talk about those two things and how to set up an environment for the teen to succeed in the video called How to Help My Teen Become a Successful Adult.